Hi, welcome to this video tutorial. So today we are going to start a very important journey. Basically, I'm going to say it's a journey because it will take a lot of time to cover a lot of things in generative AI. Okay, so this is basically the new announcement that we are going to start generative AI tutorial, generative AI full course that we will cover from the basics to advanced. Okay, so we'll cover in this from the deep learning, the foundation of the generative AI, that is deep learning. We'll start from the deep learning and we will go to the agentic AI. Okay, the buzzword that is agentic AI, that is the core behind agentic AI is generative AI. Okay, so we are not going to discuss today here that what will be the course that we are going to cover, but that we are going to discuss that why we should learn generative AI and why everyone should learn who is in industry. Everyone should learn generative AI. So the first thing that I have listed here, that is why we are going to learn, why we should learn generative AI. The first thing is that generative AI is not a technology only. Okay, it's basically a revolution that will revolutionize every industry. Every industry, it's going to change every industry. It's going to impact basically every field of the life, every aspect of the life, socio-economic and politically. It's going to change a lot of things. You know that the deepfake and other things are there. So it's going to change a lot of things. Okay. You have a huge opportunity. Okay. So I want to quote a very important quotation from the Andrew Ng that AI is new electricity. Okay. So think about this, that this artificial intelligence is a new electricity. And nowadays, whatever we are talking about, if we are talking about artificial intelligence, we are talking about generative AI. Okay. So here I have a very important graph that shows that in 2024, the generative AI market was around 17 billion, okay, US dollar. And within 5 years, it is going to increase to 109 billion US dollar. Okay. So you can see here that this growth is basically exponential growth. Okay. So this is the global market. You see that how much generative AI market is there globally. And if you talk about the India, it is estimated that by 2030 in India, this generative AI alone will create 38 million jobs. Okay. And the market by 2030 in India will be like 8,000 million US dollars. So you can think that how big, how huge this generative AI is. So this is the projection. This is the projection. It's not actual. So let's understand little bit about more that what are the big companies like OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, you already know, Meta, and different big companies are there. Those are in race to develop these generative AI models, okay, foundational models. So we have to understand, we have to learn about this, we have to learn to use this, we have to learn to create the applications, we have to learn to leverage this technology in our use cases, in our business. Okay. So if it is a revolution in tech industry, so, shall we be a part of this or not? We should be a part, we must be a part of this revolution. So, let's try to understand that where we are going to fit. So, before that, let me share some opportunities that will be created by this generative AI technology. Okay. I have here a job posting, generative AI job posting on Indeed, that it shows that in Singapore alone, the generative AI related postings are increased 4.6 times. And you see here that United Kingdom, United States, in different countries, the in US only you can see 3.5 times the job posting is increased. So this generative AI, I have categorized it to different types of the job roles. One that will be entirely different, that will be entirely new job roles, and other will be in that existing jobs are there, existing job roles are there, but you have to use generative AI within your existing domain. Okay, so let's discuss about new job roles basically that are basically created. That is generative AI developer. One thing will be one thing will be generative AI developer, agentic AI developer, large language model engineer or developer, prompt engineers. Okay, you can say that generative AI researchers, okay, AI chatbot, generative AI chatbot builder, developer, LM ops, there will be another field. So you LM ops engineers. So different roles will be there that will be entirely created. That will be the new job roles. Okay. Other thing is that the same work is there, but you are using the generative AI tools, you are using generative AI skills to enhance your productivity. That will be, let's say that you are working as a data analyst. Okay. So now how can you use generative AI? How you can use LMs to enhance your productivity? Okay. You can start if you are not a job seeker, if you are a founder, if you are a businessman, if you are a researcher, you can use generative AI to solve the real world problem. Okay. Why we should learn, the third thing is that why we should learn generative AI. So I have written that there are a lot of the applications, there are a lot of application everywhere in the industry. Every industry I have written here only six industries, but it's going to be used in every industry. Okay. So this is basically application, and we will create projects on these applications. Okay. When we understood that, okay, now we understood that this generative AI technology is very important. It is going to impact every field. So we have to understand where we stand in this. Okay. Whether we are end user, whether we are developer side, whether we are where we are. So if you're just end user, so you have to think that how you are going to learn to generative AI tools to enhance your productivity. That is the thing. Other and main important thing is the developers. Okay, so developers may be two different types of the developer. So core behind generative AI, the core behind generative AI is what? Foundational model. Okay, so we will understand in detail that what are the foundational models in generative AI. But let's understand foundational model. Okay, so these are basically large models. Those are trained on the huge amount of data, billions and trillions of the data. These models are trained. So these basically are deep learning models. We have to cover all these basics. Okay, we have to go into deep learning. We will take a journey from starting deep learning to the generative AI and agentic AI. Okay, so these are basically large language models, and these models are trained on huge amount of the data. And these models have basically these type of the models have parameters. We'll understand that what are the parameters and weights in deep learning. Billions of the parameters. Okay, so the LLMs, large language models, are a type of the foundational model. Diffusion models, I have written here, diffusion models are there. These are the foundational models. So big companies like OpenAI, Google, Meta, and different big companies are creating these large language models, these foundational models, basically. Okay. So different GPT, Gemini, Llama, and different models are there. Okay. So these foundational models are developed by the big companies. They are developing big companies. They are investing billions of the dollars. So on the developer side, those who are building the models. Okay, another part is that you are using those models to solve a real world problem. You are creating some application. Maybe you are creating some mobile application, maybe you are creating some web application. Okay, software as a service. So you can use these large language models, these image models, diffusion models, these foundational models to create the applications. Okay, so you have to think that where you are. So I hope that you have understood that why this generative AI is the new thing and it's a revolution basically, and where you are in this revolution. Okay, basically where you are, where you fit yourself. Okay, in the upcoming video we will see that what are the syllabus, what will be the syllabus that we are going to cover,